There are many different kinds of chain letters, but all of them have the same basic purpose, namely to persuade readers to copy and share them with as many other people as possible. Some promise good luck, blessings, riches, or long life for passing them along. Others threaten misfortune, curses, poverty, or even death for naught. In this case, the threat is murder at the hands of the eyeless, bloody ghost of a 7-year-old child. Judging by how frequently this chain letter has been copied and shared, the ploy is extraordinarily effective. This was posted on Facebook, January 9th, 2013. Hi, I am Teddy. Once you read this, you cannot get out. Finish reading this until it is done. As I said, I am Teddy. I am 7 years old. I have no eyes and blood all over my face. I am dead. If you don't send this to at least 12 people, I will come to your house at midnight and I'll hide under your bed. When you're asleep, I'll kill you. Don't believe me? Case 1. Patty Buckles got this email. She doesn't believe in chain letters. Well, foolish Patty. She was sleeping when her TV started flickering on and off. Now she's not with us anymore. Ha ha, Patty. Ha ha. You don't want to be like Patty, do you? Case 2. George M. Simon. He hates chainmail, but he didn't want to die that night. He sent it to 4 people. Not good enough, George. Now George is in a coma. We don't know if he'll ever wake up. Haha, George. Haha. Now, do you want to be like George? Case 3. Valerie Tyler. She got this letter. Another chain letter, she thought. Only had 7 people to send to. Well, that night when she was having a shower, she saw Bloody Mary in the mirror. It was the biggest fright of her life. Valerie is scarred for life. Case 4. Derek Mintz. This is the final case I'll tell you about. Well, Derek was a smart person. He sent it to 12 people. Later that day, he found a $100 bill on the ground. He was promoted to head officer at his job, and his girlfriend said yes to his proposal. Now Katie and him are living happily ever after. They have 2 beautiful children. Send this to 12 people, or you'll face the consequences. 0 people, you'll die tonight. 1 to 6 people, you will be injured. 7 to 11 people, you will get the biggest fright of your life. 12 and over, you are safe and will have good fortune. Do what Teddy says. Hurry. You must send to 12 people before midnight. A woman decides to take a trip to a tropical location. Her plan is to relax and get a suntan during the week that she's there. She spends the week lazing on numerous beaches, but on the last day she decides to take a tour through a forested area. While in the area, she happens upon a secluded waterfall and a quiet resting place, where she decides to take a swim and then dry off in the sun. The woman falls asleep while lying in the sun. When she wakes up, she's horribly frightened by a spider crawling on her cheek. She hurriedly brushes the spider away and carries on her way. A few weeks after returning home, the woman develops a cyst of sorts on her cheek. She goes to the emergency room where the doctor tells her that they will need to pop the cyst to let the fluid escape. The woman agrees to this simple and painless procedure. The doctor proceeds. As it's a painless procedure, the woman is not anesthetized. Soon after the doctor makes the first attempt to pop the cyst, the woman hears a gasp and then feels something trickling down her cheek. She assumes it's the fluid. The doctor tells her not to panic. Instinctively, she brings her hand up to her cheek to wipe off the fluid. At that point, she realizes that it's not fluid, but rather something crawling on her cheek. Spiders. Hundreds of tiny spiders are crawling all over her face and on her hand. She lets out a blood-curdling scream and totally loses it. She is so distraught and out of control that she needs to be restrained by several staff. To this date, she remains in the psychiatric ward of the same hospital where the procedure took place. The legend of Bloody Mary and the terrible fate she inflicts on those foolish enough to summon her has been around in one form or another for hundreds of years. Sometimes the evil spirit is known as Mary Worth, Hell Mary, Mary White, or Mary Jane. Her tale emerged from British folklore in the 1700s and took on new life with the advent of the internet. Is there any truth? So this is Mary's story. Chain letters have been circulating online since the 1990s when email first became popular. In some versions of the story, the ghost of Mary kills anyone who summons her. In other versions, she merely scares the wits out of them. This version was one of the first to appear online in 1994. When I was about 9 years old, I went to a friend's for a birthday party. This birthday party was also a slumber party. There were about 10 other girls there. About midnight, we decided to play some Mary Worth. Some of us had never heard of this, so one of the girls told the story. Mary Worth lived a long time ago. She was a very beautiful young girl. One day, she had a terrible accident that left her face so disfigured that nobody would look at her. She had not been allowed to see her own reflection after this accident for fear that she would lose her mind. Before this, she had spent long hours admiring her beauty in her bedroom mirror. One night, after everyone had gone to bed, unable to fight the curiosity any longer, she broke down into terrible screams and sobs as soon as she saw her face. It was at this moment that she was so heartbroken and wanted her old reflection back. She walked into the mirror to find it, vowing to disfigure anyone that came looking for her in the mirror. After hearing this story, which was told very scarily, we decided to turn out all the lights and try it. We all huddled around the mirror and started repeating, "Mary Worth, Mary Worth. I believe in Mary Worth." About the 7th time we said it, one of the girls that was in front of the mirror started screaming and trying to push her way back away from the mirror. She was screaming so loud that my friend's mom came running into the room. She quickly turned on the lights and found this girl huddled in the corner screaming. She turned her around to see what the problem was and saw these long fingernail scratches running down her right cheek. I will never forget her face as long as I live. A newlywed couple went to Las Vegas for their honeymoon and checked into a nice suite at a hotel. When they got to their room, they both detected a bad odor. The husband called down to the front desk and asked to speak to the manager. He explained that the room smelled very bad and they would like another suite. The manager apologized and told the man that they were all booked because of a convention. He offered to send them to a restaurant of their choice for lunch, compliments of the hotel, and said he was going to send a maid up to their room to clean and try to get rid of the odor. After a nice lunch, the couple went back to their room. When they walked in, they could both still smell the horrible odor. Again, the husband called the front desk and told the manager that the room still smelled really bad. The manager told the man that they would try and find a suite at another hotel. He called every hotel on the strip, but every hotel was sold out because of the convention. The manager told the couple that they couldn't find them a room anywhere, but they would try and clean the room again. The couple wanted to see the sights and do a little gambling anyway, So they said they would give them 2 hours to clean and then they would be back. When the couple had left, the manager and all the housekeeping staff went to the room to try and find what was making it smell so bad. They searched the entire suite and found nothing, so the maids changed the sheets, changed the towels, took down the curtains and put new ones up, cleaned the carpet and cleaned the suite again using the strongest cleaning products they had. The couple came back 2 hours later to find the room still had a bad odor. The husband was so angry at this point he decided to find out what this smell was for himself. So he started tearing the entire suite apart. As he pulled the top mattress off the box spring of the bed, he found the dead body of a woman. God only knows how long it's been there. It's nearing sundown and a traveling salesman is driving along an old 2-lane highway south of here, looking for a cheap motel to stay the night. Approaching an intersection, he spies a young woman in a lavender gown standing to the side of the road. He stops and asks her if she needs a ride. The girl is very grateful and tells him that she's been abandoned by her date for the senior prom and just wants to go home. It's a chilly night, so the salesman lets her wear his sweater. He drives her to the address she has given him, drops her off at the front door of the house, and heads back out onto the highway. A short while later, remembering his sweater, he returns to the house and rings the bell. The girl's mother answers and tearfully informs the driver that her daughter was killed in an automobile accident at the very place where he'd picked up the apparition, exactly 1 year before, on the night of her senior prom. He makes his way to the graveyard and finds her grave. His sweater is laying atop of it, neatly folded. Dear friends, I wish to warn you about a new crime ring that is targeting business travelers. This ring is well organized, well funded, and has very skilled personnel and is currently in most major cities. The crime begins when a business traveler goes to a lounge for a drink at the end of the workday. A person in the bar walks up as they sit alone and offers to buy them a drink. The last thing the traveler remembers until they wake up in a hotel room bathtub, their bodies submerged to their neck in ice, is sipping that drink. There is a note taped to the wall instructing them not to move and to call 911. A phone is on a small table next to the bathtub for them to call. The business traveler calls 911, who have become quite familiar with this crime. The business traveler is instructed by the 911 operator to very slowly and carefully reach behind them and feel if there is a tube protruding from their lower back. The business traveler finds a tube and answers, yes. The 911 operator tells them to remain still, having already sent paramedics to help. The operator knows that both of the business traveler's kidneys have been harvested. This is not a scam or out of a science fiction novel. It is real. If you like what you heard, please like, subscribe, and share with your friends. If you'd like to, you can follow me at Twitter. The handle is @FuzzyPantaloons, and I'll see you all next time.